Charge types presented by North Dallas Behavioral Health, PLLC. In Texas, there are two types of criminal charges. The less severe charges are misdemeanors. The more severe charges are felonies. As previously mentioned, misdemeanors are less severe crimes compared to felony. Sentencing for misdemeanors ranges from no jail time to up to 1 year. The sentences are often served in a county jail. Class C misdemeanors are the lowest level of misdemeanors. If you are convicted of a Class C misdemeanor, you can be given a fine of up to $500, but you won't receive any jail time. Some examples of Class C misdemeanors include disorderly conduct, petty theft, and bail jumping. If you are convicted of a Class B misdemeanor, you can be given a fine of up to $2,000. You could also be given a jail sentence of up to 180 days. It's important to understand that you can be sentenced to both a fine and jail time. Some examples of Class B misdemeanors are criminal trespass, a first driving while intoxicated or DWI charge, and harassment. Class A misdemeanors are the highest level of misdemeanor. If you are convicted of a Class A misdemeanor, you can be given a fine of up to $4,000. You could also be given a jail sentence of up to 1 year. Once again, it is important to remember that you can be sentenced with both a fine and jail time. Some examples of Class A misdemeanors are a second DWI charge, assault causing bodily injury, and resisting arrest. Your charge may be enhanced depending upon the specifics of your charge or your prior legal history. What this means is that your punishment will be that of a misdemeanor or felony, higher than what is typically associated with your charge. For example, a Class B misdemeanor can be enhanced to a Class A misdemeanor, depending upon when or where the alleged crime occurred. Felony charges are more severe compared to misdemeanor charges. The punishment for felonies can range from state jail time to the death penalty for a capital conviction. State jail felonies are the lowest level of felony. If you are convicted of a state jail felony, you can be given a fine of up to $10,000. You can also be sentenced to state jail from a minimum of 180 days up to a maximum of 2 years. Remember that you can be sentenced to both a fine and state jail time. Examples of state jail felonies include vehicular homicide, check forgery, and identity theft. If you are convicted of a third-degree felony, you can be given a fine of up to $10,000. You can also be sentenced to prison for a minimum of 2 years up to a maximum of 10 years. You could be sentenced to both a fine and prison time. Examples of third-degree felonies include kidnapping, assault, and indecency with a child. If you are convicted of a second-degree felony, you can be given a fine of up to $10,000. You can also be sentenced to prison for a minimum of 2 years up to a maximum of 20 years. Once again, you can be sentenced to both a fine and prison time. Examples of second-degree felonies include aggravated assault, manslaughter, and robbery. First-degree felonies are the second most severe type of felony. If you are convicted of a first-degree felony, you can be given a fine of up to $10,000. You can also be sentenced to prison for a minimum of 5 years and a maximum of 99 years or life in prison. Once again, remember you can be sentenced to both a fine and prison time. Examples of first-degree felonies include murder, sexual assault, and aggravated robbery. Capital felonies are the most severe type of felony. If convicted of a capital felony, you can be sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole or the death penalty. The only capital felony is capital murder. Felonies can be enhanced just like misdemeanors. When your competency to stand trial is being evaluated, there are important details you need to know about your charge. This includes specific details, like what are you being charged with? For example, is your charge robbery or criminal trespassing? You need to know what the police is accusing you of doing and be able to explain your side of the alleged incident. You will also need to know more general information, like is your charge a felony or misdemeanor, as well as what specific type of felony or misdemeanor. For example, is your charge a Class A misdemeanor or state jail felony? You also need to know the potential sentencing range of your charge if you are convicted. Hopefully, you will find this presentation helpful. Thank you for listening.